Hi everybody, my name is Ellie and we are pretty much mid-September now, and I wanted to do a kind of September-y fall craft because I love the fall and I love it when the trees start to change color. And the trees around me aren't quite changed colors yet, but I want to do a craft anyway to celebrate it because sometimes it happens so fast you miss it. So why not start early? We are going to be making tissue paper trees. So for this craft, it's very, very easy. You will obviously need tissue paper. So I used 4 different colors of tissue paper. I used a deep red, a bright red, a peachish orangish color, and a yellow. And I didn't even use the whole sheet. We're going to be cutting up this tissue paper, so don't cut more than you'll need. And if you don't have colored tissue paper at home, you can always take white tissue paper and color it with your markers. Color it the different fall colors you want, or really whatever colors you want. You don't have to do just fall, okay? But I'm going to do fall because I'm here for it. So once you have your tissue paper, you're going to cut it into a bunch of little squares. And they don't all have to be the same size either, because some of mine are more like rectangles. It doesn't really matter because you're going to be crumpling them all up, okay? And then once you have your tissue paper all set up, you're going to need a paper plate, a piece of brown paper or white paper colored for the tree trunk. You'll need scissors, and you can really, the scissors are mostly just for cutting paper. So if you want to have your grown-up cut the paper for you and the tissue paper for you, that's fine, or you can use kid scissors. You don't need heavy-duty scissors. Glue stick, and last but not least, a brown marker. Or you can just use a pencil or a crayon or a colored pencil, whatever you want. The marker is really just for decorating your tree trunk. Okay? So once you have all your supplies, I think it's time for us to get started. All right, hi again. I'm a little further back now. I had to change my camera angle so you guys could see better. So here we go. The first thing you're going to do is get your tree trunk to put on your paper plate. So for the tree trunk, I like to draw, before I start cutting any paper, I always like to draw out what I'm cutting first to give a good idea of where my scissors should go. So I just drew a little tree trunk, and you will have some scrap paper which you can use to make more trees, or you can just put in your scrap paper pile for a craft down the road. And once you have this cut out, or like I said earlier, you can ask your grown-up to cut it out. That's totally fine too. Okay. That looks kind of like a tree trunk-ish. It could be better, but that's okay. You are going to take your paper plate. As you can tell, when I made my sample one, I kind of messed up a little bit and I didn't want to get a new paper plate, so I'm using this one again. Please don't mind my messy backed paper plate. I'm just going to cover it with a new tree trunk. So you are going to put just a little bit of glue on the back of your paper plate. You're going to take your tree trunk and lay it right on there. And with glue sticks, they usually say to hold it down for 10 seconds, which we're not going to do with our whole craft, but we will do it for this time with this tree trunk, okay? Okay. Look. All right. And then just so we can finish everything with the tree trunk, I am just going to draw some lines on this to make it look more like a tree. Because trees have all sorts of lines and all sorts of bark. So you can just draw some squiggly lines. Ooh, it was in the shadow. You can just draw some squiggly lines on your tree trunk to make it look more realistic and to really make it pop. Okay. Now we get into the very long part of this project. So you have all of your cut up tissue paper. You should have it all ready. If you don't, feel free to pause so you can get your tissue paper ready, or if you're just watching this video to get ideas and to learn how to do it, then I guess you don't have tissue paper anyway. So the way I like to do this is to work section by section. So what I'm going to do is I'll put a little dab of glue. You can see where I did it because I have the purple glue. And you're going to take one of your tissue paper squares and lightly crumple it and just kind of press it into the glue. Now, this project is already kind of time consuming because you have so many little pieces of tissue paper that I don't really think it's necessary to hold it down on the glue for 10 seconds or 30 seconds. I think it's 10. Usually if you just kind of do a quick press with your finger, that's enough to keep it. And then we're just gonna kind of keep doing this. I'm gonna do a bigger section this time. And it doesn't really matter what color order you do it in. You can alternate colors. If two colors are the same next to each other, that's okay. Because you know what? Trees aren't perfect either. Sometimes you'll have two orange leaves next to each other or two red leaves next to each other. It doesn't really matter. You can put your tissue paper as close together as you want or as far apart as you want. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to show you guys what I just did. See? We are easily on our way to a full tree. You do kind of want to make sure. You can see in my first one, there are some white spots. So the closer you put them together, the less white spots in the background there are going to be. Okay? Just something to keep in mind. Ooh, one of mine fell off. I didn't have enough glue. That's okay. We'll just pop them back on. All right. So like I said, this part is kind of time consuming, but honestly, I think it's kind of relaxing. Sometimes it's nice to just sit down with a project that you don't really have to think about too much. You can't mess up. There are no mistakes here. As Bob Ross would say, if there's no mistakes, just happy accidents. And if you don't know who Bob Ross is, he was a painter who had a TV show called The Joys of Painting. And I believe we have it at the library that you can check out. But yeah, and he would teach you how to paint. And it was very, very calming. And also very frustrating if you were trying to follow along, because it would take him like 10 seconds to paint a whole tree and it would look beautiful and brilliant, and mine would never look like that. But that's why his words were inspiring, because no mistakes, just happy accidents. And you guys, I just realized we're also making happy little trees. Wow. Wow. All right, so I am going to keep working, and I will check in with you guys in a little bit, I think. Mostly to save you from my rambling. I'll check back when I'm more or almost done. How's your tree coming? Mine's coming along well. It's okay if you didn't, if you're not working very fast. I worked very fast. Movie magic, you know? All right, so I did decide to finish with you guys though, because sometimes around the paper plate is kind of tricky, especially depending on what kind of paper plate you have. If you have one that has like that's super deep or has a lot of ridges, sometimes it's hard to get your glue stick in there. So always feel free to cut your paper plate as you need to. Whatever you want to do. This is your tree, this is your creation, and you can have artistic liberties, creative control, whatever you want to call it, okay? Because I guarantee you it's going to look beautiful. And I'm using a good amount of my tissue paper. So if you need to take a tissue paper cutting break, please do. I don't think I will. I think I have enough. Also, you could have it so your trunk is on the other side of the paper plate. So you would be putting your leaves on this side. That might be easier. And it might look better. But this is my tree and I did it this way. So that's what I'm sticking with. And I'm almost done, I think, you guys. Oh no! Where did I lose you, little friend? Here, I'm just gonna stick you back in. Go back with your brothers and sisters. Careful. The more you use your glue stick, the stickier your hands might get. And you might do what I just did and pluck off a leaf too early before it's about to fall. I think I just did an unintentional pun. I'm pretty sure I did. You guys, I'm just that good. Much to everyone else's dismay. Okay. We're almost there, folks. Looks like I have one spot left. What color leaf should I throw in here? I think I'm gonna go with my dark red, my scarlet red. Oh. So, I finished filling the entire inside of my tree. And I'm not sure if you guys can tell, but there are some white spots. And if you don't like the little white spots that are sometimes in between your leaves, you can very carefully take your glue stick and put it in and pop another leaf in there. But, you know, well, you can see I have some white spots around the edges too. I'll fix this one. But for the most part, I think I'm okay with a little bit of, with my tree being a little spotty. If anyone comments on it, I can just say that those are leaves that have already fallen off the tree, if you will. All right, I think I'm done. So I'm going to cap up my glue stick. Always remember to cap up your glue sticks, you guys. There's nothing, or I guess there's things sadder than it, but a very sad thing is when you go to use a glue stick and it's completely dried up and shriveled up. You don't want that. So cap up this glue stick. And honestly, you might want to clean up the edges a little bit. Now my hands are gluey. It's okay. I'll wash them. So now you have your own fall tree. So even if the leaves aren't changing around you yet, or if by the time you're watching this video, they've already all changed and have all fallen off the tree and we're in the throes of winter, you can still have your little autumn colors. And like I said, you have some extra trunk paper, so you can make multiple trees if you want and have a beautiful little forest. So I hope you enjoy this craft. I would love to see what you do. The Ann Arbor District Library is on all social media pages, so feel free to tag us if you make one and want to show us your creation, your happy little tree, if you will. Feel free to like and subscribe for more AADL TV events. And thank you guys for watching. I had a lot of fun making this, and I hope you do too. Bye.